Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu unserer nunmehr 12. Weinprobe online mit Zanzarelli. Herzlich willkommen auch all unseren Zuschauern und vor allem den sozusagen Abonnenten, die regelmäßig dabei sind. Das freut uns immer sehr, wenn wir von euch hören, dass ihr Wiederholungstäter seid. Ich willkomme in unserer Probe den Iker Madrid vom Weingut Casa Primicia. Wir reisen heute direkt ins Rioja im Nordwesten Spaniens und freuen uns auf eine schöne Weinprobe mit euch. Hallo Iker.
Hallo. Guten Tag. Willkommen.
Einen wunderschönen guten Abend. Hello and welcome to our 12th tasting. So, this is Iker Madrid of the winery Casa Primicia in Rioja. And it's an old winery, I think. You're like third generation, I think?
Yes, family winery and third generation, you're right.
Yes. So should we say, describe your winery in a few sentences before we start with the first wine?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, sorry, because I don't speak German, so we should do the tasting in English. And yes, we are located in La Guardia, very old town in the north of Spain, and in Rioja Alavesa area. And it's a town from the 9th century, and the winery itself, the name of the winery, Bodegas Casa Primicia, came from the old Casa Primicia, which was the place where the church was collecting the medieval taxes in the 15th century. So it's a building from the 11th century, and it's been a winery since the 15th century. Actually, it's the oldest original winery of Spain, okay, the Casa Primicia. The church was collecting the taxes, call it in Spanish diezmos y primicias. Diezmo is the tithe, the 10% of all the production. Uh-huh. They were collecting, of course, in grapes in this case. And they did the winery and started to elaborate wine since the 15th century. And it's been elaborating wine in that building until today. Even today, we continue. We do have wooden barrels, and the wine is aging in that Casa Primicia. And well, it came to the family 3 generations ago with my grandfather and my grandmother. And well, initially they were elaborating just young wine for locally. And then the second generation, my father and 2 uncles, they started to age in the wine and to sell internationally. And now my cousin and me, the third generation, we are managing the wineries.
Also das Weingut gibt es schon sehr lange. Seit dem 15. Jahrhundert ist es schon ein Gebäude, was für den Wein, also Spaniens älteste existierende Weingut. Man kann die Originalauflage der Weinpresse sogar noch sehen im Gebäude. Und im 11. Jahrhundert wurde es ursprünglich gebaut, um quasi den Zehnten einzutreiben. Also die Kirche hat damals halt wie bei uns auch den Zehnten eingetrieben, und das wurde in Trauben gemacht, und dafür gab es ein extra Haus, in dem die auch verarbeitet wurden. Wir werden später auch noch Fotos davon sehen, aber jetzt starten wir gleich erstmal mit dem ersten Wein. We're starting with the first wine.
Okay. Yes.
I will explain some more words that I didn't translate right now, so you have time to open the bottle.
Sure.
Casa Primicia hat im 15. Jahrhundert schon existiert, aber seine Familie hat es erst in der 3. Generation. Sein Großvater hat angefangen und damals sozusagen lokal die Trauben verkauft. Also frische, junge Weine für die Gastronomie in der Gegend. Und sein Vater hat dann angefangen, zusammen mit 2 Onkeln die Weine auch international rauszubringen. Dann ist er jetzt die 3. Generation, zusammen mit seinem Cousin führt er das Weingut. Um das nochmal zusammenzufassen, weil das hatte ich eben noch nicht übersetzt. Und im Glas haben wir jetzt den Carravalseca Blanco. In the glass we have Carravalseca Blanco, and that's a special project?
Yes, it's coming from probably the best vineyard that we do have actually. It's later it's as well is an organic vineyard, but the organic, that being organic, it's just a plus. The most important thing is that the quality of the grapes that we collect in this vineyard is spectacular, and we do elaborate this white, this Carravalseca white, a Carravalseca young carbonic maceration that we are going to taste as well, and a Crianza and a reserve. So the 4 categories of Rioja we are elaborating in this vineyard. Well, it's quite different from a usual white from Rioja, because the blend, the coupage, is quite complex. It's 60% is Tempranillo white, which is very unusual and very difficult to find, and then it has a mix of the other white varietals grapes that are allowed actually for the Rioja DOC. It's 14% is Sauvignon Blanc, 60% is Tempranillo white, as I said before, 10% is Viura, the most usual and well-known grape from Rioja for the white wines, and 8% is Verdejo and 8% is Chardonnay. Okay, so it's a mix between 5 different grapes, and that's why it's quite complex in the
Let me quickly translate. Also der Wein ist sehr komplex und kommt von dem besten, von der besten Parzelle, die sie haben. Nicht nur, dass er organisch angebaut wird, also Bio-Wein ist, sondern zusätzlich haben sie da noch eine sehr, sehr gute Parzelle. Die Mischung ist 60% Tempranillo Blanca, was eine besondere Rebsorte ist, weil sie quasi keine gezüchtete Rebsorte ist, sondern eine Mutation von der Tempranillo Rot. Dann ist drin 15% Chardonnay, 8% Chardonnay, Verdejo 8%, genau, Sauvignon Blanc 15% und Viura 10%. Insgesamt 5 Rebsorten drin, eine sehr schöne Mischung. Und um das nochmal zu beschreiben mit dem Bio und dem, es ist ein Vogelschutzgebiet, weil wenn ihr hier durch dieses kleine Loch im Etikett guckt, dann seht ihr einen Vogel. Das ist eine Ammer, soweit ich weiß, und das ist, warum das ein Vogelschutzgebiet ist. Es ist ein sehr schönes Gimmick, also könnt ihr euch alle mal das Vögelchen angucken. I just explained the bird. And I had a tasting once in my shop when we did tastings with like lots of people in the shop, and we had one ornithologist who knew birds, and he looked at it and he could tell the name of the bird, but I'm sorry, I forgot.
It's a bee-eater.
A bee-eater.
Yes, bee-eater, yes.
Also
it's eating the bees, yes.
Ja, also es ist ein Bienenfresser. Und das ist eine Ammernart, soweit ich weiß, weil Ammer habe ich mir gemerkt. Also das seht ihr da. I think it's important to explain because it's special that the organic is like displayed on the etiquette like this.
Yes. We have the mountains, we have the barrels, the moon, the stars, the wind. It's biodynamic style or kind of label, yes. And Carravalseca came from a natural salt lake, which is around La Guardia. There are 3 salt lakes. The biggest one is Carravalseca, and our vineyard is in a hill surrounding the lake. Okay?
Ah, beautiful.
Yes.
So, how long have you done the Carravalseca? Also, how long have you done the organic?
It's organic since 2009, I think so. Yes, because we needed 4 years of reconversion to organic, so it was organic even before. But officially, it's from 2009, if I am not wrong. Yes.
So you have a good 10 years now with organic wines.
Yes.
And it was a good decision for you?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, when we were making the test of the vineyard, of the terroir, the results were always fantastic. I mean, it was always very, very healthy, and that was then we were not putting any kind of chemical process to the vineyard because it was really healthy always. It's located in a hill. It's a very windy area. We do have sun almost the whole day, and it's instead of many other neighbors that they have been cutting trees and just planting vineyards, we maintain it all the local trees and the local every kind of flowers or whatever. Yeah. And now it's like a natural garden surrounded by the vineyard. And we talked with an expert, and he said to us, this vineyard is fantastic for being organic because it has everything that you need to get the organic certification. In fact, you have not been using any chemical process because it doesn't need. Being located in a hill, there is no any problem that your neighbor will use some treatments and because of the wind they will contaminate you. Okay? Because in our mind and in our philosophy, we will really like to have more organic vineyards, but sometimes it's not possible because of the neighbors. Okay?
Yeah. But it's a good to know that it's such a perfect place.
Yes, and it's been really healthy for many years, and that's one of the main reasons why. I always make the comparison with the humans, with us. If you anytime that you have a little cold, you are taking pills and you are getting some medicines. Somehow your body is not working against the cold, okay? So, and became lazy. If you instead of getting any time pills and medicines, if you leave your body to fight against the cold, it will do by itself, okay? And then you will be more strong. You will be stronger for next time. This vineyard is really strong. And instead of a really bad weather in some specific year, it will not have any problem. In fact, there has been some in this since 2009. There has been so many years that there were difficulties because of there were too many rain, then so sunny days and the high temperatures with the humidity. But Carravalseca always has been really healthy. We are really lucky in this kind of process.
So should we see what we taste in the wine?
Yes.
I will translate quickly. Sie hatten sehr viel Glück mit der Umstellung auf Bio, weil das einfach ein idealer Platz ist zum Umstellen, weil es war umgeben von natürlichen Blumen, also alles die Vegetation, die da vorkommt, mit dem Weinberg drumherum. Und sie haben quasi keine Probleme mit irgendwelchen Krankheiten, weil der Wind einfach reingeht und die Sonne gut auf dem Hügel steht und sie werden auch nicht kontaminiert von Nachbarn, die sprühen oder andere Sachen benutzen, weil das da einfach nicht hinziehen kann. Und das ist eigentlich schon ziemlich perfekt für Bio. Also es war vorher im Prinzip auch schon Bio, aber wurde erst 2009 zertifiziert. So, now we go back to the wine.
Yeah. It's quite complex in the aroma. Well, you have peach, pear, some tropical fruit as well.
Yeah. Some banana?
Banana, yeah.
Very smooth and long.
Yeah. It's a very limited edition. It's in this vineyard average we get 5,000 kilograms per hectare, and the total elaboration of the Carravalseca white is usually less than 10,000 bottles. So it's a very limited edition.
Let me quickly translate that and explain. Also auf dem der Carravalseca Blanca ist relativ limitiert. Es sind nur 10.000 Flaschen, die sie produzieren, ein bisschen drunter. Und es sind nur 5.000 Liter pro Hektar. Das kann ich einfach mal erklären. Es gibt Erträge und 5.000 ist eher im unteren Mittel. Bei Massenweinen geht das hoch bis zu 20.000 pro Hektar. Einfach, dass ihr eine Relation habt, das ist schon eine relativ starke Selektion. Sind auch nicht mehr ganz junge Weinberge, also ich glaube, die sind 25 bis 30 Jahre alt. Ich frage gleich nochmal. Und das macht natürlich auch ein bisschen was mit der Komplexität des Weins. So I just remembered, how old is the vineyard for the white wines?
Well, the white wines, talking about Tempranillo White and the Viura, are much older. The Viura is about 35 years old, and the Tempranillo White is about 25 years old, something like that. But the new grapes, Verdejo, Chardonnay and Sauvignon Blanc, are 11 years old only. They were planted with the Rioja DOC allowed to plant these new varietals.
So as soon as it was allowed, you were like quite with it. You were like doing the new thing right away.
Yes. Yes, it's because the Viura, which is the autochthon white grape, it's not bad, but it's quite neutral. It's neutral in the aromas, and always when you are looking for a special wine, a limited edition, you look for something special. And the Viura is nice, it's okay for drinking. Of course, in Germany you do have fantastic white wines in comparison, but in this kind of elaboration for the Carravalseca, we wanted to show something special. That's why we planted as experimental purpose, and as I said before, it's just 10,000 bottles in total. Usually even less. For example, this year it has been really warm, and we have only less than 6,000 bottles for the 2020.
Oh, that's not so much. But generally, how was the vintage 2020 for you? Was it difficult?
And we are really happy with the result. We were afraid that because of the wind, the weather, but in September and October was really fantastic, and both are the most important months for the grapes. Okay, so September was spectacular, and October as well. So we got a really nice grapes, and we're really happy with the quality of 2020. Yes.
That's something to look forward to when it gets into the bottle. So that's nice to hear. So we always have the chat running with the YouTube, but is there anything? No. Okay, no questions yet. Seid ruhig mutig, stellt ruhig Fragen. Wir sind froh, wenn wir welche kriegen. Also seid nicht zu schüchtern. Wir freuen uns immer über Fragen. I just said that we are happy if somebody dares to ask things. So
yes,
because sometimes the chat is really quiet, but maybe people are so happy with drinking the wine that they don't, come to the questions. So. Yeah. So should we move to some pictures of the winery so people see the nice old house where the winery is in?
Yeah.
So we see some grapes and some hills.
Yes. The town of La Guardia is located at 600 meters above the sea level. 600 meters. The Carravalseca vineyard as well is in a hill and is at the same level, around 605 meters above the sea level. That altitude is fantastic because during the day it's sunny and warm, so fantastic for the ripeness of the grapes. But it's quite colder, much colder at night. So probably we are at 25, 26 degrees during the day, 24, 25. and it could be around 14 or 15 at night. So that's very, very good. It's fantastic for the skin of the grape, which is the most important part to elaborate a good wine. So, and we have planted even olive trees as well. As you can see, there are olive trees all over the vineyard. Yes.
Very nice picture. So.
Yes. No. Yeah. Please translate, please. Show something.
Also, um das nochmal zu übersetzen, Entschuldigung, jetzt habe ich den Faden verloren. Wir müssen erst mal kurz weitermachen, bevor ich wieder weiß, was ich sagen wollte. So switch back to the picture and the olive trees. That was like an autumn picture, the last one, right?
Yes, because of the color of the leaves. Yeah. Yes, you are right.
It's very nice.
Yes. This is after harvest. Yes.
Because
you cannot see the grapes. It's after harvest.
Yeah.
Yes.
All picked up. I was visiting Casa Primicia a couple of years ago together with Rolf, and I remember that La Guardia is such a beautiful town. It's like really medieval, with like complete surroundings, and it's a car-free town, which is really nice. Yes. It's because of the vibrations. Because of the cellars getting destroyed through the vibrations of the cars, if I remember right.
Yes, you are right. Well, firstly, it's because a very tiny town. It's a small town. Okay, yeah. It's just in a hill, and just even the streets are so tiny that even a car will not be allowed to pass. But you are right. There are subterranean caves. And probably, if we get a truck, a really heavy truck, it will be a serious problem to calm down the whole town, because it's like a Gruyere cheese. It's with holes everywhere. There are subterranean caves all over the town. Yes.
Let me quickly explain. Also La Guardia ist eine wirklich schöne alte mittelalterliche Stadt, komplett mit Stadtmauer und allem, was dazugehört. Und es ist halt eine Stadt mit ganz vielen schmalen Gassen, und sie besteht aus ganz vielen Höhlen und Kellern, zum Teil 2 Stockwerke tief. Und es ist eine komplette autofreie Stadt, weil die Vibrationen der Motoren die Keller zum Einsturz gebracht haben, und deswegen ist sie komplett autofrei. Also als ich da war, gab es dann nur so Elektrohandkarren, auf denen Sachen transportiert wurden, und Fahrräder, aber ansonsten keine Autos, was echt wunderschön ist, wenn man durch so eine mittelalterliche Stadt geht. Und wirklich schöne alte Stadt. Und Casa Primicia, was er vorhin auch schon erzählt hat, das heißt ja das erste Haus. Also Primi von 1. Und das ist halt auch das erste Haus vom Wein. Also das hat sich tatsächlich über die Jahrhunderte erhalten. So, I just explained about La Guardia and the beautiful town. So, should we move to the second wine, or... I don't know. Should we move to the second wine? Or is there anything more to say to the first?
Please feel free to ask whatever you want about the wine. If not, we could just pass to the barrel fermented white.
Then we go to the barrel fermented white. And if there's any questions from the chat later, we can still answer them.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
So there's the bottle. Maybe with the second wine we can. This is like the other label, like we have the Carravalseca label from the organic, and now we have the Casa Primicia label. And on the Casa Primicia label, you always see like the door, which is on all the wines, which is like the door from the old house in the city.
Yes, the logo of the winery, it's the door of the old Casa Primicia. You are right. Yes.
Yeah, I like that it's so simple, and you have it on every bottle, that you see the bottle and you see, there's the door. It's a Casa Primicia wine, which is like it's good to remember, you know.
Yes, of course.
And I think we have a picture of the door somewhere. I'm not sure.
This is a street of La Guardia, yes.
Yeah, we can move.
And now we are going to see, this is the door.
Yeah, that's the door.
Well, now it's a modern door. The old original door, it's inside the building. Okay, it's from the 15th century. Okay.
So you preserved the old door, but you made a new one that looks better.
Yes, if we look to the left now, the door is it's just behind this column.
Okay. It's on the upper behind the column. Okay.
Yeah.
Also die alte Tür ist im Haus aufgehoben aus dem 15. Jahrhundert, aber sie haben draußen eine neue eingebaut, weil die alte wahrscheinlich nicht mehr stabil genug war. Aber sie haben sie aufgehoben und sie ist im Haus zu sehen. Und jetzt?
Well, now we are tasting the Casa Primicia white, which is a barrel fermented white. It's been 6 months aging in the barrels. It's the blend is 50% is Chardonnay and 50% is Viura. Okay. In the new elaborations that we are doing, actually, we are just now elaborating with Chardonnay. So now we have changed the label as well, and the upcoming vintages of Casa Primicia White, it's 100% Chardonnay.
Okay, that's when I order next, I will get the new edition.
Yes, yes, that's it.
I'm looking forward to it.
The winemaker, we are really amazed with this barrel fermented, but even the winemaker decided that he prefers 100% just Chardonnay. So now we are elaborating like that, always following what the winemakers prefer.
Yeah.
And as I said at the beginning, of course, we are talking about Germany, and you have fantastic white wines, but in Rioja we are more well known about the red wines, but we wanted to show that it's possible to elaborate a nice white as well in Rioja. It was the organic Carravalseca white, which I think is really interesting, and this is a barrel fermented that I think is worth it to taste as well.
Yeah, I think it works real well with if you do seafood with garlic and chili. I think it works real well then.
Yeah, the maridas of the barrel fermented is absolutely amazing. You could use it for many different kinds of dishes, starters, fishes, or whatever. With cheese, is absolutely amazing as well. Because it has some structure, it has some body, and that helps you to combine with much more different kind of food. Okay?
It's nice. You can smell the wood, but it's not overpowering the wine. It's still really very smooth and well bound in. It's very nicely done and very long in the taste. Also der Weißwein ist im Holzfass fermentiert, also er gärt im Holzfass für 6 Monate, also sehr langsam. Ist eine Mischung aus Chardonnay und Viura, 50-50. Der neue Jahrgang wird 100% Chardonnay sein, weil der Weinmacher, also der Önologe sozusagen gesagt hat, wir müssen es mal ändern, das gefällt ihm besser. Wenn meine nächste Lieferung kommt, werden wir das ausprobieren. Aber jetzt haben wir gerade noch den Jahrgang mit der Mischung. Wie gesagt, sehr weich, sehr lang im Geschmack. Schmeckt sehr, sehr gut zu Garnelen mit Chili und Knoblauch. Also kann ich empfehlen, falls ihr das mal ausprobieren möchtet. Und
in my opinion, for aging the whites, the best grape is Chardonnay, in my opinion. So I really like the Chardonnays aging in barrels. Yes. Some people really like the barrel fermented. Some people just prefer not having any kind of aging in barrels, but it's up to any palate. So of course.
Yes, it's of course always a personal taste. I quite like the wooden taste with the wine because it's really balanced out, and I can imagine a lot of foods that fit real well. So. And I think in Spain it's most often that wines are combined with food. It's you don't do the couch wine thing as often as we do in Germany. Germany, you often have people like, oh, I need a wine to drink on the couch. And I think in Spain it's more the wine for this food and the wine for that food and the wine for this food. It's more combined or locked to the food.
Well, it's in the Mediterranean. Yes, we usually have lunch and dinner with wines, but we do as well have we go before the lunch or before the dinner. We go outside to the bars and we drink wines as well. Not with food, not always with food, but yes, it's true that always the combination of the wine and the food. It's quite interesting for many kind of different possibilities that you do have. Yeah, and if you match it correctly, you will enjoy much better the lunch or the dinner, of course. And it's if you have the possibility to do it, even with two different wines in the same dinner or lunch, you can improve a lot the experience of the lunch or of the dinner.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should take this moment for talking about a few wines that we don't taste today, but that you have in your portfolio, because there's one row in your wines that I quite like. That's the 4 Rioja wines where you have separated the single grape of the Riojas. That's Tempranillo, Mazuela, Garnacha and Graciano.
Graciano, yes.
And it's 4 wines that are a single grape, each between 11 and 14 months in barrique. And it's quite the essence of the Rioja, but in single grape, which is, in my opinion, quite good for a dinner with friends, where you are 4 couples and you have each couple does 1 course and you have one of the wines for each course. I think it's a good experiment to do with friends. At least once we can meet with friends again. It's a little bit difficult right now. So, but I've done that with my parents for a Christmas dinner once with the 4 wines, and it was a really nice experiment for that dinner. So I can only recommend that for everyone to try out.
Yeah, are the 4 autochthone grapes from Rioja, and what we wanted to show is that there are many different possibilities to elaborate a wine in Rioja. Of course, the most well-known is Tempranillo, which is a treasure for us. It's a fantastic grape. We can elaborate young wines, crianzas, reserves, and even grand reserves with the Tempranillo. It's a grape which is spectacular. But there are as well, as you said, Mazuelo, Garnacha, Red Grenache, and Graciano. Graciano is mostly only from Rioja, and are very different one from each other. So I mean, if you have all of them to taste, you will see that tasting the Garnacha and tasting the Tempranillo are totally different, and tasting the Graciano is really different as well. So it's nice to, and are coming all from the same area. I mean, we have all the vineyards planted in 15 kilometers around, so almost the weather, the terroir is very similar. It's not so different, but the wines that we elaborate after that, it's totally different. It changed a lot because of the varietal.
I think you can learn a lot about wine when you do a tasting like that with these wines, because if you're starting with wine drinking, I think it's a good lesson if you try like 4 wines from exactly the same different area, but they are completely different. It's a good, it's a good way to learn about wine.
Yes, I agree. I have to say that, of course, if you are tasting wines from Rioja Alavesa, for example, and it's a Crianza from Rioja Alavesa made with Tempranillo, you will have some similarities, of course, because all are coming from the same area, okay? And you will recognize that it's Tempranillo from Rioja Alavesa. But then after that are differences between the elaboration of one winemaker to another, or because this vineyard is older than the other, or because the terroir is a little bit different. And for me, that's the magic of the wine sector. I mean, I absolutely dislike the possibility of the big companies that they do want to elaborate a standard wine everywhere. For me, that is total nonsense, and I disagree totally with that idea. I mean, if you taste a wine from the Piedmont, you want to taste a wine that is coming from that terroir and that grapes. If you are tasting a Bordeaux or Burgundy wine, you want somehow to taste a wine that is coming from there. Yeah. So a standard wine, international standard wine that is similar everywhere, in my opinion, it's not so.
Well, it doesn't make sense because wine is about the terroir and the area it comes from. At least for me.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, it's like that.
So, let me translate quickly. Also ich habe gerade erzählt, es gibt eine Reihe, die wir heute nicht probieren, aber die ich euch sehr ans Herz legen kann. Das sind die autochthonen Rebsorten des Rioja, Mazuela, Tempranillo, Graciano und Garnacha. Und die gibt es als rebsortenreine Weine bei uns und haben alle zwischen 11 und 14 Monaten Barrique und sind einfach sehr, sehr schön und man kann da ganz, ganz viel dran lernen im Geschmack. Und ich sage immer, wenn man sich so mit 4 Pärchen trifft und jedes Pärchen macht einen Gang des Essens und zu jedem Gang gibt es einen von den Weinen, ist das ein total schönes Experiment, das man machen kann. Im Moment natürlich schwierig, wir müssen ein bisschen warten, bis wir uns wieder mit Freunden treffen können, aber wenn wir das wieder dürfen, dann wäre das ein sehr, sehr schönes Experiment. Es sagt sehr viel aus über die Typizität, was Rioja ausmacht. Und was er eben gerade meinte, ist, es gibt halt große Companies, die versuchen, so Standardweine zu etablieren, die aber nicht wirklich Sinn machen, weil es macht ja keinen Sinn, dass ein Wein immer gleich schmeckt, egal wo er her ist, nur weil es ein Chardonnay ist oder nur weil es ein Tempranillo ist, sondern man soll schon erkennen, wo es her ist, dass es ein Terroir hat, also eine Herkunft, die einfach wichtig ist und den Wein auch ausmacht. Also da stimme ich voll zu. Wein ist über die Gegend, wo es herkommt und die verschiedenen Geschmäcker machen ja auch die Vielseitigkeit des Weins aus. So, I think we are moving to the reds now.
No, please, if someone wants to ask anything about the barrel fermented, feel free to do it, and if not, we will move. Yes, we will change to the red elaborations. Ich habe noch eine Frage aus dem Chat, ob es schon Experimente mit weißen Reserva gibt.
There's a question from the chat if there are experiments in the Rioja with white reserve wine, also Reserva wines. Is there experiments in that directions?
Yes. There are some white reserves. Yes, and even really, really old ones. And even in the last 2 years, I think the Wine Spectator from Parker Points, they have talked about 98 or 99 points for a white reserve from Rioja. That the vintage was around 1998 or something like that.
Oui.
Yes. So really, really old white wines. Yes.
So they age well, apparently.
Yes, it's not so usual. It's not really common, but there are a few wineries. I will say only 2 or 3 that they are elaborating such old kind of white wine. Yeah. But the customer in Spain is not really looking for these wines. It's so I mean, this is only just for specialists, or and even the white elaborations, reserve elaborations, are really limited editions. It's not so. It's not so common.
Yeah, it's something special, not for the white market.
Nah, it's not. No, it's not really like that. Yes, but yes, there are white reserves. Yes.
Okay.
Even in your company?
No. The only white that we are using to age in barrels is the barrel fermented that we have been tasting now, and we use. I didn't mention. We use French, American, and it's a French oak, American oak, and something really peculiar, which our winemaker decided to make some tastings, and he really liked it. We use acacia.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Let me explain that. Also, Sie benutzen nicht nur französische und amerikanische Barriques, sondern Sie benutzen auch Akazienfässer. Also das macht nochmal was Spezielles, und das mag wohl der Önologe sehr gerne, um damit zu experimentieren. Also ein paar Experimente finden bei Casa Primicia auch statt.
So 40% is French oak, 40% American oak, and 20% is acacia. Yes.
So how long would you say you could keep the barrel fermented?
Well, you could keep it without any problem for 4 or 5 years. But the thing is that after 2 or 3 years, it's not going to improve anymore in the bottle. I mean, it's just going to keep the quality, and then started to go down, because the wine has good quality, because it comes from good quality grapes. It's not the go down is not going to be really fast. It's going to be slow. But I will not keep the wine for years, because it has no any sense. It's not going to improve in the bottle after 2 years. So I will drink it.
Okay.
And just order the newest vintage coming. I mean, if you are tasting now the 2018, so then when you finish, you will perfectly start with the 2019 or 20. So it's no problem at all.
Okay, so we move to the red.
Yes.
Falsch. Maceracion Carbonica.
Yes, in Rioja, we are well known for red wines elaboration. And now we go back to the Carravalseca vineyard.
Yeah.
Okay? So these grapes are organic wine, organic grapes, and coming from the same vineyard from Carravalseca. Carbonic maceration is a young wine in Rioja Alavesa, and it's the traditional way to elaborate the wine here in Rioja Alavesa. It's been always used to elaborate like that. What means carbonic maceration? I will try to explain with my poor English. Well, usually when we want to age the red wines in barrels, we use a machine which the stemming, so the green part we quit out. Yeah, it's taken off. Okay, and then it goes to the tank, the skin and the rest of the parts, but not the green part. Okay. In the case of the carbonic maceration, we don't press or screws or break any grape. So we put even with the green part inside the tank. Okay. That's why we pick up all the grapes very carefully in small cases, because we don't want even one grape to cruise before that we want to. So the carbonic maceration means that there is an inside within the grape, there is the maceration inside, and once that it breaks naturally, started the fermentation. But firstly is the maceration inside the grape. Okay, we don't break the grape.
Also die Carbonic Maceration ist eine spezielle Art der Gärung, Und zwar werden die Trauben sehr vorsichtig per Hand gepflückt und in kleine Kisten getan, damit sie nicht kaputt gehen und werden dann so in den Tank gepackt. Komplett mit Stiel und Stängel und allem drum und dran. Normalerweise, wenn die Weine vergoren werden, ist es so, dass da werden die ganzen Stiele rausgenommen und nur die Traube wird vorsichtig gequetscht, dass der Saft rauskommt und dann dann fängt es an zu gären. Und in dem Fall findet die erste Gärung, also die Maceration, in der Traube statt, in der kompletten, unzerstörten Traube. Und erst wenn sie durch den Gärungsprozess aufbricht, dann geht sie in die Fermentation und macht das weiter. Das ist sozusagen ein sehr natürlicher alter Weg der Traubenverarbeitung. Das ist das, was sich hinter diesem Begriff Maceracion Carbonica verbirgt. Ist ein bisschen kompliziert zu erklären, aber es ist eine spezielle Machart, die auch ein spezielles Ergebnis gibt und die gerade im Bio-Bereich gerne benutzt wird. So, I tried to explain Maceracion Carbonica. I hope it made sense.
Okay. What we are looking for this kind of wine is to be really fresh and fruity, mainly very fruity. So I will say that lastly, it's been in fashion, or the new market is demanding very fruity wines. The carbonic maceration is that. It's a very, very, very fruity wine. It's very fruity in the aromas and in the mouth. It's absolutely fruity. Okay. So that's a young wine, a carbonic maceration wine, traditional wine in Rioja Alavesa. It's that. It's fruitiness, and fruitiness. You have strawberry, blackberry.
A little bit of cherry.
Cherry.
Again, a nice balance. There are no aggressive notes or anything. It's very smooth.
And again, it's coming from a very low. I mean, it's around 5,000 kilograms per hectare, so it's really low.
Low
what
yield,
we get from any yield. Low yield, yes, absolutely. So that's why the grape, which is the most important, of course, it's a very good quality grape. And finally, you get the result in the wine.
Very nice to drink.
It's very drinkable, yes. It's usually the carbonic maceration, we do have another carbonic maceration, which is the standard one, not coming from Carravalseca. That's what we usually drink in the bars before lunch or before dinner, okay, when we go out. Most of the people in the north area of Spain is drinking carbonic maceration. But this as well is coming from Carravalseca, which is even a better quality grape, so it's even a smoother and better wine in this case. Okay? So it's a premium carbonic maceration.
Ja. Und ich sollte auch erwähnen, dass wir bei uns im Laden auch den Crianza von der Carravalseca-Reihe haben. Das ist dann der mindestens ein Jahr im Holz war. Auch sehr schön. Nur, dass ihr wisst, dass es da noch mehr zu entdecken gibt, wenn ihr diese Probe mochtet. I just explained we have the Crianza of the Carravalseca also in the shop. And so people know that there is more to explore when they if they like this wines, they have some more to explore.
Yes. Crianza it will be the next step. Okay. It's coming from the same vineyard, from Carravalseca, fantastic quality grapes, but now we put in new barrels, and we want to get the structure and all the things that we get from getting in oak. And just it should be between 12 and 14 months in barrel, the Crianza. We don't really like the too oaky, the wines. We don't want to be the oak so present in the wine. But of course, you get more structure, it's more complex and mature wine if you elaborate a Crianza. It's a different kind of wine, and the reserve is the upcoming step, longer in barrel, so it's again getting more complexity and more maturity. Some people really like that, some people just prefer the fresh and fruity young wines. It's up to you, it's up to any palate.
Yeah. So, but the reserve is more the bottle for if you have to celebrate something.
Yes.
So yes.
Yes, and you should combine with some food because it's really powerful. So it's yes. Well, in fact, this is 14 degrees, alcohol degrees. So, no,
it's not a light wine.
No, it is not. It's a fresh and fruity and easy to drink, but it's not light. It has body and structure as well.
Yeah, I remember you have one special etiquette in your shop with a special wine that's called Julian Madrid, which is in a special in the museum in the MoMA, as far as I know. It's one of the 100 most important etiquettes of the world, or more.
Yes.
I think that's something really important to mention.
It was an exhibition done in the MoMA of San Francisco, in the Museum of Modern Art of San Francisco. We got a call from them, and they said, we are going to make a show for us, which are the 100 best labels around the wine. And we have chosen your wine of Julian Madrid. Would you like to be in the exhibition for 6 months? And initially, I thought that it was a joke. Someone who wanted me to send to them 12 bottles of Julian Madrid. But after checking it was true that it was from the MoMA, and it was a real surprise, and we are really proud to be one. It was not first, second, third. It was 100 labels around the world of wine, and they selected the family reserve. We elaborate in the honor of the grandfather, Julian Madrid, and it has the fingerprint of my grandfather in the label. Yes.
Yeah, I quite like the label because it's really beautiful. Let me explain in German quickly. Also Sie sind in einer Ausstellung gewesen in San Francisco im MoMA, also ein sehr wichtiges Museum, und zwar eins von den 100 weltweit besten Labels, die ausgesucht wurden, um in dieser Ausstellung zu sein. Und das Etikett finde ich auch persönlich sehr, sehr schön, weil es hat den Fingerabdruck seines Großvaters drauf in Form einer Traube, die vorne auf dem Label ist. Und das ist, finde ich, einfach, das ist so auf so vielen verschiedenen Ebenen einfach verbunden mit dem Terroir der Familie und dem Weinmachen, dass ich das einfach eine sehr, sehr schöne Idee finde von dem Label. Und das ist auch einfach was Besonderes, wenn man da ausgewählt wird als Weingut. Und er hat gerade nochmal erzählt, dass da kriegt er einen Anruf und ob er da in der Ausstellung sein würde, und dachte erst, das wäre ein Scherz, aber dann musste er eben mal 12 Flaschen nach San Francisco schicken und war da für 6 Monate in der Ausstellung. Und das ist schon was Besonderes. Das wollte ich zumindest mal erwähnen, weil das schon was Besonderes ist. So I explained the label.
I will have a look to getting the bottle. Just a second.
Yeah, of course. I think Michael gets a picture of it. So, ja, das ist wirklich ein besonderes Label, und wenn das in so einem wichtigen Museum gezeigt wird, ist das natürlich was Schönes. Und ich nutze die Pause gerade mal, um euch noch mal was zu erzählen, was wir demnächst noch vorhaben. Also alle, die jetzt quasi unsere Proben regelmäßig sehen, oder die Abonnenten sind unseres Channels und immer mitkriegen, wenn wir was Neues machen, da seht ihr jetzt das Etikett. Das ist der Fingerabdruck mit der Traube, und es ist quasi seinem Großvater gewidmet. Ich finde, das ist einfach ein sehr, sehr schönes Etikett, auch grafisch gesehen, einfach wunderschön. Very nice. So, um nochmal für unseren Channel zurückzukommen bei YouTube, alle Abonnenten kriegen ja mal mit, wenn wir was Neues machen und wir planen demnächst eine kleine Überraschung für euch. Also alle, die noch nicht abonniert haben, macht das mal, weil dann kriegt ihr die Überraschung auch mit. Wollte ich nur mal so zwischenschieben, aber jetzt weiter mit dem Wein. Gibt es Fragen im Chat? No. Okay, so should we move on to the next red wine? That's Casa Primicia Joven Tinto. Did I say Joven right?
Yes, Joven Tinto.
Joven.
Yes, red. Sí, Joven.
Okay.
Young. Joven is young.
Because I'm not, my Spanish is much worse than your English, so I only can do some words. So I wanted to know if Joven is said the right way.
Joven, yes, it's okay. You say it perfectly.
I have to train, you know, because I can do English, but I can't do Spanish.
This is a picture of the old Casa Primicia.
Yeah.
This is the subterranean cave.
Yeah, that's
9 meters below the street.
Ja, das ist der Keller im alten Weingut. Das ist 9 Meter unterm Boden, also man geht 2 Treppen runter. Also ich war da auch schon in dem Keller. Es ist sehr dunkel und sehr weit unten und sehr eng. Aber unglaublich, also wirklich schöner Wein, schönes Weingut. And that's with collecting the grapes.
This year you can see the mask.
Yeah. So it was a special harvest this year.
This is the lake of Carravalseca.
Ah!
This is the lake.
There we say the lake of Carravalseca. That's very nice.
Yes, it's amazing. The view is spectacular. And at the end, we can see the town of La Guardia, which is just behind the mountains.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Oh, look, and that's you. No. No, but so this year was a very special harvest, or last year? It's like the last autumn.
Yes, 2020. Yes. Yeah, it's. I said we were afraid that if September should be really rainy, then it will not be a really good vintage. But September was absolutely fantastic, and October as well. So finally, we were really happy with the grapes coming to the winery, mm-hmm. Yes, for the harvest.
That's good. Because I know that all over Europe, some wineries really had trouble with collecting the wines. So it's good to know that everything went well at your place.
Yeah, we are a really lucky place because in Rioja Alavesa, in La Guardia, surrounding La Guardia, is there a fantastic microclimate. Mm-hmm. We are between 2 different mountains in a valley, mm-hmm. But as I said before, it's not the valley is at 500 meters above the sea level. So we avoid most of the difficulties and problems that comes from heavy rains or because the mountains get the clouds. It was previously in the pictures that we have seen before. Mm-hmm. It was one of the mountains, and the clouds there were get by the mountains. I don't know if we can go back to that picture.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's something really special, and that the microclimate is spectacular. And as I said before, it's really warm and sunny during the day, and it's colder at night, and that's fantastic. We have not so many rain. And here we can see. Yeah, can you see?
Oh yeah, the clouds are hanging in the hills.
That's it, and they are not passing to the Rioja Alavesa area. And even if they pass, all the rain has been done in the mountains.
Ah, okay.
So when they pass, they are without so much rain. So much rain. So that's fantastic for the for the vineyards.
Also für die Weinberge ist es fantastisch, dass die Wolken an den Bergen hängen bleiben, die ihr gerade sehen konntet. Da regnen sie ab und deswegen hat der Weinberg keine Probleme mit, dass es zu stark drauf regnet oder irgend sowas, weil dann kann es passieren, wenn die Trauben schon relativ reif sind, dass von dem starken Regen die Häute aufplatzen. Und das will man natürlich nicht. Und dadurch, dass die Wolken an den Bergen hängen bleiben und da abregnen und dann nur noch so ein leichter Regen über also quasi die Wasserversorgung gesichert ist, ist es natürlich ziemlich ideal in den Weinbergen.
Well, this we have been calling Joven Tinto, and it's true that it's Joven in the categories of Rioja. There are 4 categories: Joven or generic, Crianza, Reserve, and Grand Reserve. These are the 4 categories for red wines in Rioja. When for being Crianza, you need minimum 1 year, 12 months, the wine in barrel. Okay, that's the minimum that you need. This wine has been only 4 months in American oak. Okay, 4 months. That's why in the category we are talking that it's like young. Okay, but in fact it's been 4 months in barrel. So that's why it has some aromas and some structure and some body coming from the barrel as well. Okay, but it's not a Crianza. The Crianza should be the next step, and it's been longer in barrel. And for this wine, we use in the total amount of barrels that we do have in the winery for the special elaborations and reserves. We use always new barrel. Second use of the barrel usually is for the standard Crianza. It's a mix between new and second use of the barrels. And third and fourth use of the barrels is for this kind of wine. So this wine is used with the barrel, not new barrel. A new barrel will be too aggressive. Okay, and in this wine we don't want to be too oaky. We want just to be slightly oaky. Okay.
Now I have a question that I just because it's something that I don't know, because you just said there's 4 categories for wines in Rioja. Because usually I learned in Spain it's Joven, then Roble, then Crianza, then Reserva, and then Gran Reserva. So there's no Roble in Rioja?
No.
Ah, okay.
You are right. In Rioja does not exist the Roble category. Okay. That's for Ribera del Duero. In Ribera del Duero, they do have the Roble.
Ah, okay. Because I thought it's all over Spain the same. I didn't know that they cut out the Roble in Rioja. So I just learned something new to me, which I just never noticed in the Spanish wines. So
in fact, this wine that we are tasting now is very similar to a Roble. Okay, to a Roble category, but it does not exist in Rioja.
Ah, okay.
Okay. For Rioja, does not exist that category.
I understand. Okay, I just didn't know that little tiny fact, and it's really interesting to me because I thought I know how the categories work in Spain. So I always like when I learn something new, you know.
And even well, there are 53 different DOs in Rioja in Spain. 53, and there are quite a lot.
Yes.
And the regulations of every DO is not the same. I mean, there are some DOs where for being a reserve, you need less time in barrel rather than in Rioja. Okay? I will say that Rioja is the more strict regulation from all of them.
But it's one of the oldest DOs in Spain.
Is the oldest, the oldest one. And there are 53 DOs and only 2 DOCs. Denomination of origin, 53. Denomination of origin qualified, denominación de origen calificada, only 2. Rioja and Priorat.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Because I remember when the Pro Wine happened, there's always like a stand in Spain where you could get a map of all the DOs. And every year it was a different number. There was a time there was like 70 and now it's down to 53. It's like changing every year, which makes it a little bit confusing to explain to people why it's changing so much.
There are quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, there are quite a lot.
So
yeah.
But I mean, sometimes change is good. Sometimes maybe DOs don't work anymore, or there's just not enough representation. But Rioja is one of the most prolific DOs of Spain. I think it's one of the most important. So it's really nice to get a taste of the Rioja now.
Yeah, Rioja became very famous and started to grow up a lot after the phylloxera. Okay? Because, well, here we do have a map. The gray part in the north, it's France. So we are in the north of Spain. Well, many of you will say in Germany, most of you know about the geography. When I talk to Chinese people or some people from the United States, I have to explain everything because they don't really know where we are. But when Rioja Alavesa is inside the Basque Country, but we are at the same time with some areas in Navarre and the whole Rioja province, we are all inside the DOC Rioja. Okay?
So
this is the map of Spain. You can see all the different
DOs.
Yeah, so there are a lot. And very different one from each other because the weather is totally different in Spain, from the north to the south or in the island or whatever. And we are just in the north, and inside the north area, there is the Rioja area, and inside the Rioja area, we are in the north as well, the Rioja Alavesa. Okay? So in the next map, I don't know if Michael could pass to the next map.
I think he does, yes.
That's it. Yes, we are in the north again. This is all.
That's
the next one.
Yeah,
next one. This one. It's okay. This is the old DOC Rioja. The pink part is the low Rioja, where there are the biggest plantations and biggest vineyards, and the production is much higher. Okay. Then is Rioja Alta, which is in yellow. In Rioja Alta is more similar to Rioja Alavesa. There are smaller plantations, smaller vineyards, and smaller wineries as well. And most of the oldest wineries came from Rioja Alta, from Aro. And well, they call Rioja Alta, but even to the north is Rioja Alavesa, as you can see. Okay. So, and inside Rioja Alavesa, it's the town of La Guardia. If in the next map, if we pass, we will see here we are, La Guardia, where we are located. Okay.
You're right in the middle of the Alavesa.
Yes, and we do have mountains at the top of the part of Rioja Alavesa, mountains below us, and even the Ebro River. So that one that you are seeing is the Ebro River that crosses Rioja Alavesa, and Rioja Alta.
And the river is very important to the winemaking.
As well, yes. It changed totally the vineyards that are really close to the river or the vineyards that are closer to the mountains. Yes, it changed totally. The terroir and the final wine that you elaborate. Yes. But Rioja Alavesa is mainly small, very small vineyards, half hectare, 1 hectare, even less than half hectare, and in Rioja Baja you could find 50 hectares, 60 hectares. It's very different philosophy.
So how much hectares does Casa Primicia have?
We are owners of 53 hectares. but under our control are around 140. I mean, it's not, we are not the owners, are vineyards of family members or people that they are not professionals working in the vineyards, and we work for them.
Okay.
We have in rent.
But it built up through the years, more or less. It's like
sorry.
So the hectares built up through the years with family members joining or people saying, "Oh,
yes.
Do our wines." What we didn't mention about the Joven is which grapes are in it.
It's mainly Tempranillo, the most well-known grape and the most famous grape in Spain. But it's mainly Tempranillo.
Yeah, we should mention it.
Yes, and then there are 15%, which is a mix between Mazuelo and Garnacha, mainly. So it depends on the vintage. Sometimes it's 8% Mazuelo, 7% Garnacha. Some other vintages are 9% Garnacha, 6% Mazuelo, something like that. But mainly between around 85% is Tempranillo.
Ah, okay. So it's always a little bit changed with every year.
Yes, because of the Garnacha and Graciano, depending on the weather and on the vintage, sometimes the production is higher or lower. And it depends on that.
Yeah, but wine is a natural product. It makes total sense.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not mathematical. It's not just maths. It's not always the same production. So it's sometimes you get a higher production of Mazuelo or lower, and depending on that, the percentage is different. Yes.
Yeah, then it makes total sense because it's a natural product. Also, ihr konntet die Karten gerade sehen mit den verschiedenen Gebieten des Rioja und sie kommen aus Alavesa, das ist der kleinere Teil des Riojas, der bergigere Teil des Riojas, der Teil, in dem kleine Familienweingüter zum Teil mit nur einem halben Hektar sitzen. Es gibt die großen Teile, das ist der Oriental und der andere Teil, da sind eher die großen Kompanien, also das, was halt im Supermarkt steht, die brauchen ja auch Fläche, um die ganzen Supermärkte zu beliefern, und in dem Teil, wo deren Weingut ist, sind eher die kleineren Familienweingüter. Um das nochmal mit zu erklären. Und sie haben 53 Hektar und die sind alle in Familienbesitz oder dazu gepachtet von ganz kleinen Leuten, die das im Nebenerwerb machen und dann lieber ihre Trauben für jemanden produzieren, der Familienweingut ist. Um das nochmal zu erklären. So, I just explained the maps that we saw before in German.
Yeah, okay. Yes, of course, this is, as you said, it's a natural product. It's that's another part of the magician, or the magic that we do have with the winemaking. Not every vintage, not every year the weather is the same. That's why change from one vintage to another. And it's something that I like that, because if not, it will be a chemical product. I mean, it's not like the vodka. The vodka could be very similar from one year to another. It's just a distillation, but it's not the same with the wine or the beer, as you know perfectly. So it changed totally.
Which is good.
I found a photo, and the question is what you are doing with the vacuum cleaner.
No, it's just I don't know how to say the name in English. Sometimes it depends on when the winemaker decides we need to clean the barrels. We call it in Spanish trasega, where we change. So we need to quit out all the wine.
Oh, it's like pumping out the wine.
Yes, pumping out the wine and cleaning the barrel inside, and then getting the wine inside again to continue aging the wines. Yes.
Okay, also es ist kein Staubsauger für Wein, sondern das ist eine Pumpe, mit der man den Wein aus dem Fass pumpt, dann das Fass sauber macht und dann den Wein wieder ins Fass packen kann. Um das zu erklären, was das Bild zeigt. Weil Michael hat gerade gefragt, warum da ein Staubsauger am Wein hängt. Und nein, es ist eine Pumpe. So, I just explained in German what you said.
Okay. This is the town of La Guardia and the mountains over there. This is a picture from the Carravalseca vineyard.
That's very nice. You could go on vacation there.
Yeah.
And you live there in a place that looks like a vacation to us.
Well, hopefully we will be able to travel again really soon.
The mountains in the backyard, do you know if there's any climbing there?
Yes, it is possible to do it, yes. Yeah.
It's important to know, you know.
No. Well, next wine is, as I said before, is the next step. It's we are talking about a Crianza, so it's the next category. The wine
real
is
nice smell.
For 1 year, 12 months in barrel, and it's getting more complexity and maturity, of course.
And a real nice smell.
And it has the very similar blend. I mean, it's mainly Tempranillo as well, with around 85%. And the rest, 15%, is a blend with the Tempranillo, with the Mazuelo and the Garnacha. It's same as the previous one, but now aging a little bit more. Instead of 4 months, 1 year, 12 months.
Very nice, very long, very smooth.
Yeah, the grapes that we use in this case, well, we always, the harvest we do all 100% is manual. We don't use any machinery, okay?
Yeah.
And in small cases of mostly 400 kilograms, most, okay? Between 350 and 400 kilograms. We want always the grapes to arrive in good conditions to the winery, okay? And we do the harvest really carefully, step by step, vineyard by vineyard. The vineyards that we use for the Crianza are a little bit older than the vineyards that we use for the Joven Tinto. Then we get a little bit more better quality grapes, and that it's very useful to aging a little bit more the wine. Okay. So this is an average because we use many different kinds of vineyards, but an average of around 27, 28 years old, more or less.
Okay, also die Weinberge für diesen Wein sind irgendwas zwischen 25 und 28 Jahre alt und werden alle, also das gesamte Weingut wird alles per Hand gepflückt. Das ist alles Handlese. In Small Batches, also in kleinen kleinen Fuhren, also da werden nicht so Tonnen von Wein aufeinander gepackt, sondern das sind halt 350 Kilo, das höchste, aber meistens eher kleinere. Das konntet ihr im Weingut ja auch eben sehen, das sind so 20, 30 Kilo Kisten und die werden dann umgefüllt in größere. Und also Handlese ist halt schon aufwendiger und wie gesagt, der Crianza hat jetzt 12 Monate Holz. Und ich muss jetzt gerade noch mal so eine Sache erklären, die ich sonst immer in meinen Weinproben vor Ort erkläre. Wenn ihr den Wein schwenkt, habt ihr diese Schlieren, die ihr sehen könnt. Die gibt es immer erst ab 13,5%. Das heißt, bei dem Wein ist ziemlich eindeutig, dass er ein bisschen mehr hat. Da kann man sehen, dass er mindestens 13,5 hat. In dem Fall sind es 14. Das kann man halt auch sehen. Ich erkläre das immer gerne als Partytrick. Ihr kommt auf eine Party, kriegt am Eingang ein Glas Rotwein in die Hand gedrückt und wisst nicht, was es ist, aber ihr wisst, ihr habt jetzt ein Glas Rotwein in der Hand und ihr müsst irgendwann prosten. Und wenn ihr dann diese Schlieren seht, wisst ihr, dass ihr nach dem zweiten Glas hören sollte, sonst artet die Party aus. Wenn wir dann wieder Partys haben, könnt ihr das gerne mal ausprobieren. I just explained something about the volume of the wine because you have 14% in this wine. And
Yes.
There's something that I always explain in my tastings as a party trick. You come to a party, get a glass of red wine in the hand when you enter, and you don't know what it is. But if you do the moving and you see the I don't know what it's called in English.
The tears.
The tears, yeah, the tears. Okay. Then you know you have to stop after the second glass, else it will be a hard party.
Yes.
But it's a good way to learn about how much percentage a wine has.
Yes.
And I always try to bring such details in my tastings because it's so people know what they are doing.
Yeah.
But it's really nice and smooth, and I like the smell of blackberries.
Yeah, for someone who is looking for a crianza from Rioja, that is a very good example. I mean, it's coming from mainly Tempranillo, it's 85% Tempranillo. It's been for 1 year in barrel. And I would say that some wines from Rioja probably in the past were too oaky, and that's not what I really wanted for my wines. So as a philosophy in Bodegas Casa Primicia, we don't really want that. We want to be present the fruitness of the grape, okay, of the Tempranillo grape, mainly because we use a good quality grapes. So I would say that if you have some, I would say mistakes, or that the wine has some something that is wrong, the best way to
hide it.
To hide it is to put it a lot in aging in barrel, and then you will only have the aromas of the barrel and the tasting of the barrel. But if your grape is a very good one and good quality grape, you should want to be present in the wine as well. Okay, so that's why we don't really want to age too much in the barrel. To have the combination and the structure, that's fantastic, and the wine is improving, and that's good. But always keeping in mind that it's coming from Rioja Alavesa, from the Tempranillo of Rioja, and being that present in the wine. Okay, always some fruitiness you should have in the wine, always. Yeah?
Which is quite nice because it's a good balance between the wood and the fruitiness.
That's it. You should have the balance. The wine should be round. Okay. Same with the acidity. You should have some acidity, and it has some acidity, but not always being in a good balance. Okay.
Yeah. So what food would you recommend with this wine?
Well, any kind of meat, of a stick, should be okay. I mean, it's as you said before, it's 14 degrees alcohol, so it has enough body and structure, so you could match it with some kind of sticks of meats without any problem. But at the same time, being really elegant wine, it's even able to drink even with, not just with strong sticks or whatever, even with any kind of pasta or chicken or whatever, or even some pieces as well. You could match it perfectly, no problem at all. With ham, of course, with cheese, that's of course any kind of wine. It's good married as with any kind of with ham or cheese, of course. Yeah.
That makes me hungry.
yeah, you're right.
So it's like having a little travel to the Rioja with you, which is very nice to see the picture in the area. That's just beautiful. It's we can't travel right now, and having this way of drinking wine and seeing the pictures of where the wine is from, it's like a little travel that you can make in your mind, which is really nice in these times. So.
Yeah. Yeah, we really hope, and of course you are more than welcome to come to La Guardia. And I honestly say that it's you have been, Sousa, you have been here. La Guardia is a very historical and emblematical town. It's from the 9th century, and it's worthy to visit.
Yes, very.
And the Casa Primicia itself is the oldest original winery of Spain from the 15th century, and it's you could check it in TripAdvisor, and you could have a look in the website bodegascasaprimicia.com, whatever you would like to. And it's something, it's a natural heritage. It's something really interesting to see and to visit as well. And we have not, of course, not the last year and surely not this year, but usually we have been with more than 5,000 visitors per year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hopefully with vaccination it soon will be possible again to travel and have a normal life.
Yes.
But I've been there. It's really, really beautiful. It's a wonderful place. I think you're really happy to live in such a beautiful place, and it's much warmer at your place than it is in Germany. So.
Yeah. Now it's really cold over there. Yeah.
Not yet, but it will be.
It's going to be, yes.
So, haben wir noch Fragen im Chat?
Ja, eine Frage ist, ob es richtig ist, ob er über die Jahre mehr Weinberge und Reben dazu bekommen hat.
There's a question in the chat if you got more vineyards that are connected to your place through the years, that you started smaller and got some more hectares towards this.
Yeah, of course we have been growing up step by step. When my grandfather and grandmother, they both started, they didn't have 53 hectares. They started with 3 or 4 hectares. And they were really, really hard workers, and they started to grow up, buying more vineyards and continue working and working. Initially, as I told you, it was just carbonic maceration, just the young wine, and they were selling locally. Starting point, it was just in La Guardia, then to the rest towns of Rioja Alavesa. Then next step was to the city of Vitoria, which is the capital of the Basque Country, later Bilbao, and then Madrid and whatever. And second generation started to export. We initially started with the United Kingdom and Germany, and you continue in both United Kingdom and Germany, the best countries in sales actually. And yes, we started really with a few vineyards, and as much as we were growing and selling more and more and being successful in many different countries and winning many different gold medals and awards, we were able to get some more vineyards, which is really you need it. You need good vineyards and good grapes to elaborate a good wine. So that's why our investment has been done mainly in vineyards.
And you stay at the same grapes, or are there some hills and grapes we are interesting to combine with your products?
Was meinst du?
Ob es spannend ist, noch spezielle Reben oder Weinberge dazu zu bekommen?
They're asking if it's interesting to you to get new grapes to plant, or if there's just a regulation with the Rioja where you can't plant anything different.
Well, actually, because of the regulation, you can only plant the autochthon grapes that are allowed, which are Tempranillo, Graciano, Garnacha, Mazuelo, and Maturana. Okay? Maturana is almost disappeared, and it's just a few vineyards. Yeah. We do have one wine of Maturana, one special premium wine, but mainly it's I would say that around 80% of the total production of red wine in Rioja is coming from Tempranillo, okay? So if you are looking to get some more vineyards, and mainly all vineyards are mostly Tempranillo, because it's the vineyard that has been here since always, and for this microclimate and this area, it's a fantastic grape. Yeah, so if you look for, if we look for getting a new vineyard, usually from every 10 options that there are the 10 possibilities, 7 are from Tempranillo, usually.
Okay. So, but you're doing white wines in Rioja, which is quite, until a few years ago, it was quite unusual. I think you're like a little bit of a pioneer with the white Rioja, because when I started with your wines, you already had a white Rioja, and other wineries never ever even thought of it. So you've been quite fast or quite forward with doing white Rioja, or was it an accident?
No. As you said, we have the white from many years ago. Of course, as any other winery in Rioja, the production of Bodegas Casa Primicia is 80% is red wine, and 15% is white wine, and 5% is rose wine. But we had been elaborating wine many years ago. Some part of the whites, some part of the Viura is used as well for the carbonic maceration as well, or for the young wines in many wineries in Rioja. And we as well, we use some Viura as well for the carbonic maceration, which is good. It's good for the carbonic maceration. Just 5% is fantastic. But in the case of Carravalseca, we wanted to show that it was possible to elaborate a really nice white even in Rioja, which is not really is unusual, but it's possible to do it. And the barrel fermented as well. Both are very limited editions, but I think it's a very interesting white to taste.
I think so too, because it's something unusual. And I think white Rioja is a little bit of a trend in the last few years. So it's getting stronger. People are asking more for white Rioja.
Yeah, is there a fact, which is a reality? It's that the almost or minimum half of the total consumption of wine all over the world is from white wine. That is a fact. It's more than 50% of the total consumption of wine is coming from white all over the world. So that's why some wineries in Rioja said as well that they wanted to have a white wine, because it's like that. We are really famous about the red wines, and we export mainly red wines, of course, because as I said before, it's difficult for a Rioja winery to sell a Viura white wine in Germany or in Austria or in Switzerland, because you do have a fantastic white wine. So it's a nonsense. So, but they are selling the white wines in Spain or in Portugal, in France. Yes. Well, France has fantastic white wines as well. So
it's something special to have a white Rioja. So it's quite nice to taste it.
Yeah, of course. When I go to a wine tasting with whites, I go with total confidence, because the Carravalseca white and the Casa Primicia barrel fermented are enough good to compare with many different fantastic white wines all over the world. So I have no problem with that. But it's true that the normal Viura, as I said before, is quite neutral. So I really understand in many wine tastings that the Viura is not top quality white wine, comparing with Riesling or many other kind of fantastic wine.
Yeah. But still, fantastic wines. The reds, the whites are real beautiful wines. Thank you very much for making such wonderful wines.
You are welcome. And as I said before, now it's a difficult situation all over the world with the coronavirus, and we all expect and we all hope that with the vacuums and whatever, everything will go for better, and soon we will be able to travel again, to see, to meet. It's not going to be possible in Düsseldorf this year in Provine,
which is very sad, but really
yes.
understandable. So is there anything new that we are looking forward from your winery this year? Because you can't show it on Provine, and but I have to order soon, so because my stock is down. So is there anything new that I'm looking forward to, or my customers can look forward to?
Yes, what is new is the new label, the new presentation of the Casa Primicia range. So you have been tasting the previous labeling,
yeah,
and now using the door of the Casa Primicia,
yeah,
the Joven Tinto will be.
Oh, you're making the door in the label, like
yes, in the label. That's it.
Very nice.
This one.
Yeah.
And the Crianza.
Ah, you're making the label is in the form of the door. That's nice.
Well, now this is a rosé wine.
Yeah.
That we do have.
Well,
but
the kind of label is the same. Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit different.
And this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the form. The format is a little bit. It's like the door. It's the same form. It's very nice. I'm quite looking forward to that. But that's something I always liked about your wines. The labels were always like very clear and clean and not so much extra. It was always like very, you could see, that's a wine from Primicia, because it always has the door, which I quite like.
This change is coming because the old Casa Primicia started to be a winery in 1420.
Mm-hmm.
Beginning of 15th century in 1420. So last year it was the 600th anniversary of the Casa Primicia. So that's why we did the change. We wanted to show last year, but because of the coronavirus was a very strange 2020, and we were not able to show the new labeling. So we are going to start with the new Provine in 2021. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to be in Provine of last year, but Provine of last year was cancelled, and we are doing this year the new presentation.
I mean, it was cancelled like 2 days before it started, so it was like a heartbreak in a way.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
But.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think we're coming to a conclusion, and I'm really happy to have your wines in my portfolio, but I think there's still a question in the chat.
Wir haben noch die Frage, in welche Länder die Weine so gehen. Und hauptsächlich.
Oh, the chat is asking to which countries you do export your wines, except we know Germany and UK.
Japanese.
So yes. Which other countries are your wines traveling to?
In total to 26 different countries, 26. So I said before that Germany is number 1, United Kingdom number 2, and then we have United States, China, most of the European countries, Austria, Switzerland, Norway, Poland, Belgium, Netherlands, France, Poland, I said Poland, Sweden. Then if we go to America, we have Canada, United States, Mexico, Dominican Republic. If we go to Asia, we have South Korea, Japan, and China. And probably there are a few ones that I didn't mention. Let me check. Well, in total, 26 different countries. Wow. Quite a lot.
Yeah, quite a lot. Yeah, but interesting that your wines are traveling in all over the world. But I'm still happy to have them in my little shop in Hannover. So the quality and the range is just beautiful, and thank you for making such wonderful wines that we can share and give to our customers. I think it's a great gift to bring such good wines to people.
Yeah, thank you so much. We had been, we know each other from many years ago with Zanzarelli.
Yes.
And we are really proud and happy to have a customer like you. And we expect to have for many years the wines to show in Germany, and we would like to, and that's why we elaborate the wines. We elaborate the wines to have customers that they are going to taste and drink it and enjoy it. Without the people enjoying the wines, it will be a nonsense to elaborate the wine. So, in fact, what we do have in every bottle of wine, we are showing who we are, our philosophy, and it's a portion of what we want to do and to show. So this is a wine from La Guardia, from Rioja Alavesa, from a family winery, and which is inside is somehow it's a representation of our product, or what we are doing. Okay, and what not just me, what all the family has been doing in 3 generations. I mean, this is coming from the vineyards. The vineyards are really old. You have to work the whole year in the vineyard. It's a hard work, and the result is in the harvest and with the elaboration with the winemaker. But it's a process that finally we show that in just one bottle of wine. And that the good thing is that this bottle could travel all over the world and can represent us. It depends, in Australia or in Asia, in America, or in Germany, of course.
Yeah, and it's good wines that we are looking forward to have. The next step is a new label, and I'm looking forward to it.
That's fantastic.
So thank you for a nice evening and sharing your thoughts and your philosophy about the wines. It's a beautiful place. I wish I could travel right now, but now it's just traveling in my mind, and it's a beautiful travel to see such pictures and to taste such wonderful wines. Thank you for your time. And I say Prost or Salute.
Salute, Prost.
Und vielen Dank an unsere Kunden, die dabei waren. Ich hoffe, ihr hattet einen schönen Abend. Trinkt noch ein bisschen weiter. Prost.